Hello and welcome to our channel where we will talk about video games and how is to live in Russia.
We will talk about latest Soviet Union and early Russia, about gaming, about our experience in this, and also about music, about movies, about completely everything.
Oh yes, and about rock music too.
Yeah, not only rock.
Not only rock, but mainly rock.
Yep.
So, how it was? Well, me and Alexei, and my name is Artem by the way, we were born in late Soviet Union.
Yep, and the middle of 19th, 80s,
80s. Yes, so
80s.
if we will talk about it in historical way, that one day the government of Soviet Union almost decided to let's forget about all that socialism crap and be a democratic state.
Yeah, actually, borders were opened, and nobody actually knows what to do with this.
Yes, about problem was I think the economical one.
Because everybody was very poor. Everybody were.
And all that money that people had in Soviet Union at one day became just a paper.
Just nothing. So it was really hard to receive some good electronics, for example, or clothes, and it really was a question of surviving of every family, of every um, person at that time.
Yes, and the first years of 90s, at one day the Soviet decided to take a White House, and it was a disaster. And imagine as being a young kid, and you see in the windows that tanks are coming.
And your TV shows not cartoons, not funny movies. Your TV shows Swan Lake
Yes,
ballet,
yes,
Russian ballet.
it was a disaster because the people they were okay, mainly okay with the life in Soviet Union.
I will explain a little because everything was planned on Soviet Union. Your education, your work, your life, you completely knows what will happen in next 5 years, in 10 years, 50 years, and everything was okay. I will be an engineer, for example. I will have 2, 3 kids, and government will take care about me. That Soviet people thought about their lives.
So the newborn government of newborn Russian Federation decided to let's be a democratic one and have a free prices and have a business markets and everything that you guys are okay with. But for us, as being a young children, it wasn't so good because we didn't have our parents didn't have money.
Yep.
We almost starved.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
it was kind of hard. Yes, and nobody, our neighbors, our parents, our friends of our parents, didn't know what to do with that freedom that government gave us.
For example, in our family was questions every evening what to eat. For example, potato, mashed potato, but with some cabbage. Or it will be chicken, but
With air.
with air, for example.
Yes.
About fresh vegetables and fruits, it was almost, I don't know how to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Da. So, and as borders were opened, the media came to Russia. And being a young child and see the commercial on TV screen, the black and white ones, of course.
Most of them.
We small people, small children, we had seen the video games.
Yeah, in advertisement and movies from Hollywood.
Yeah.
And what we saw really, what was our experience in games and video games was almost zero, completely zero. All we had it was electronica.
Yes, small one, like this. It was a small handheld console, and we thought that this is the Soviet Union one, and we played the. There was a game called Nu Pogodi, which was a clone of Tom and Jerry and all that stuff. But I think for me it was the first video game that I tried to.
And for us, it was completely the top of the top, the best of the best ever computer that we ever seen, of course. And everybody plays No Pogodi, as Artem said. Also, we got some games like Funny Hook Guy, some Mysteries of Ocean,
Yeah.
and that all these games were clones of Japanese or American games.
Yeah, and we didn't know about it, but it was so awesome to see something electronical, not to play like we played games on streets, like we took sticks and pretended that it was a sword and all that stuff, like everyone as a child. But I remember I opened a book and there was a title about video games and how many they are around the globe, because we didn't have a clue about it, because we had just like nothing in Soviet Union. We
You're talking about a book with some list of games for personal computer.
it was just a book about electronics globally, about VHS players.
Not only games.
No, but there was a small column about video games, and I thought that, oh my god, this is, I think, the best stuff that I can ever imagine.
Really interesting. And when I first time met something connected with video games, I think it was Spectrum PC, which I saw my older brother house. He worked here much older than me. He worked as as engineer, and it was his working computer. But also sometimes he played some games, and I still remember it was a series of DZ games, the guy egg-like, and some guy who shoot missiles, excellent it called, and few other games, but I actually don't remember their names, how it calls. And
cool.
Then maybe I don't know, didn't know that it was a Spectrum, that was PC. I told to everybody later in school, my friends in Moscow, that my older brother built PC by his own hands, and I was very proud of him. Really.
Yeah,
that sounds very funny.
That's really funny and awesome. But in my case, well, I already knew that there is some video game consoles around the globe, but not in newborn Russia, and I just really dreamed about it, to play something, to experience that stuff, because for us it was just like something from outer space.
No, absolutely.
Yes.
From another planet.
From another planet, yeah. And at one day, my elder brother, same as in your case, he came back to home with a console.
Yeah.
Yes, he was
PlayStation Pro.
Not almost PlayStation Pro. Yeah, he was working at the storage as the worker, and every day he saved some couple of thousand of rubles, because well, everyone was poor, and he got the enough money to.
Thousand of rubles is not very much.
Yes,
really.
yes, and he got the well, we didn't know about it. How was it called really? But it was a clone of NES, the Nintendo one.
It was something like this, actually. It's also some modern clone of NES.
Yes, and we should tell you about something that there was nothing licensed in Russia.
Yeah. First thing we should talk about in this case, it's that for Soviet people, for Soviet Union, it was a normal case, completely normal case, because our cars was a clone of Italian cars, most of them.
Fiat, yeah.
Yep, our motorcycles was clones of German motorcycles, and also our cartoons were clones of
Western ones. Yes.
Western, yes. We watched Tom. You watched Tom and Jerry about cat and mouse, and we watched Ну погоди. It's mean hold on.
Yes.
Ну погоди.
Yeah.
About wolf and rabbit.
Everything was stolen from the Western culture and
Actually,
reimagined for Soviet Union.
actually, you know, Pinocchio, the fairy tale Pinocchio. Nobody in Russian Soviet Union, I think, somebody knows, but most of us we read Buratino, the wooden guy, not Pinocchio, Buratino.
So yes, everything was stolen from the Western culture and reimagined for Soviet Union. But as the newborn Russia, we didn't have any licensed products,
Yep.
and the Chinese market was the best friend
As a second thing in
for,
this case.
for us. Yes, we didn't have for example, we still don't have a Nintendo
Yep.
in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So
And actually, it connected. It's not only electronic stuff. It's about our sneakers. We have not Adidas almost. We had Abibas.
yes.
Nike. We have Mike or
Oh,
Mike.
yeah, I had a pair of shoes that was called Niche, and
Nike.
and it had
Nice
Niche
one.
and Versace on it.
Nike and Versace. It's very modern guy.
Yes.
You
So
was-
the Chinese market was the best friend for newborn Russia,
Mhm.
and we had everything from China. We didn't knew that there was something like quality and all that
Mhm.
stuff.
You know, actually, in this time, in 2020, still Chinese goods is equal to bad goods. You know, and on positive sides, for example, German goods or Japanese goods equal to good quality goods.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at one day,
About console.
I had the NES. For you, it was called NES. For us, it was called Dendy.
Oh, Dandy with funny elephant.
Yes, the funny elephant, and for us, it was around 1995. For me, 1994,
I think
1995.
yes.
It was like a PS5
Yeah.
in modern day, and my journey with video games began.
So your brother brought it to your home.
Yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
and it actually had stuff like this. Oh my god, it's so...
No, it's not so easy.
Yes, it had this cartridge, something like that. The cartridge with 9 billion,
Mhm.
9 billion games in one,
Yeah.
and it started with Mario, with Battle City.
Mm-hmm. Duck
What else?
Hunt, I think.
Oh, Duck Hunt, yes.
Yeah.
With it actually had this pistol that you need to shoot ducks on the screen.
Unbelievable. But by the way, about your TV at that time, in my case, it was black and white.
Same stuff. Well, the color TV even in mid-90s was a big problem in Russia.
Mhm.
But me and Alexei, we live in Moscow, and Moscow and St. Petersburg isn't
Real Russia.
Yeah, but we still had the black and white TV. So
Mhm. And actually,
It was
you
hard.
need to say that you were really a lucky kid if your TV shows video games in black and white. In most cases, it was black and green. Yeah, and because nobody knows at that time about codecs, about PAL, SICAM.
yes, it was a
VCAM.
new stuff for us.
Yep, absolutely. And also we got a lot of city horrors about video games that if you will play a lot on old Soviet,
Your eyes will bleed.
your eyes will bleed, your TV will collapse, or even blow. But
You will become a zombie,
yeah,
like our
I think it's true.
grandparents told
I
us.
think it's true.
You will become
I
a zombie.
know a few people who became a zombie. really, after playing a lot.
So
No, not kidding, not kidding.
yeah, I think yes that you are not kidding. So it was okay.
Bigger. Can you imagine?
It was okay, but while the Western world had already PlayStation 1 at that time, and we just imagined that there is something else, not just this dandy stuff, but it became like a real, well, the children became mad about it.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I think because of big influence of our first channel, federal channel, at 95, 96, I think it was a series of TV shows which were dedicated to video games and dandy, I always said, and also
it was called Dandy New Reality.
new reality. Absolutely, for us it was a new reality. And also first time I saw in this program not only D&D or NES, also Sega
Yeah.
and the Super Nintendo. And when I first time watched this program with some screenshots or some demonstration of game from Sega and from Super Nintendo, I believe that it can be true. Because the best games we saw on D&D, it was, I think, Super Mario Bros. 3 with good graphics, and some kind of Disney games, DuckTales, Duck and Duck, Tailspin,
yes,
and Chip and Dale.
And about the Disney, in Soviet Union we didn't have any kind of Disney movies, well, because it was banned in here. We had only the Russian ones made of puppets. Do you remember them? And they were okay.
Yeah, but also we got a lot of really strange and scary
stuff. Yeah.
Cartoons and movies based on fairy tales. The Frozen, Morosko.
No, there was a Soviet interpretation of
Beauty and the Beast.
No. Ice Queen.
Ice Queen, yes.
Oh my God, it was so scary. But as you know, the Western culture started to come into Russia. Some channel on TV started to place Disney cartoons on in it.
Actually, at that time, I remember that we got in Moscow, 6 channels, different channels. But our TV received only 2 of them, and we lived in the center of Moscow at the time. So every channel got only 1 hour per week with Disney cartoons.
It was called Disney Hour.
Disney Hour on the first channel, Disney Hour on the second channel, and lucky for us, it was 1 after 1, so we really can watch 2 hours of Disney per week.
Yes.
And it was completely, can say that it also was a new reality for us.
Yes, and I created the satellite by myself. Well, imagine as how old was I? 7 years old. I created a satellite by my own, yes, and it was going to the street from the window, and I just did stuff like that, trying to find a channel that showed Disney movies, and I finally got it. Yes,
really?
For the first time in my life, I had seen the Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, and all that stuff, and around that time, I got the information that there is a video games about that characters that was in these cartoons.
I should say that first game that I played on NES, our clone of NES, it was Duck and Duck, and it was absolutely unbelievable that you can control Duck and Duck. You can shoot, you can jump, you can
fire a gun.
You can fight against bosses, and my head of little boy was almost below. It was something really unbelievable.
Yeah, and why it was so big for us? Because we didn't have anything like that as a young children, really. Because we had nothing in our country. We just
Mhm.
only dreamed about it. Someone talked about it, that there is computers and all that stuff, and video game consoles and cartridges and controllers and everything like that. But our parents, they understood that, and they got us these stuff. But as everyone was really poor, we didn't have much games. We had like couples of them, and traded switched with our friends and neighbors and everyone that we knew, because everyone had this dandy console, which was a complete piece of something. And well, it worked differently, but the games, they were same as on
In my
NES.
case, I want to say that it was a funny moment that I was a good boy. I was study very well in school, and at one time my mother said, "Alexei, Lёша, it's time for reward. Your marks in school are very good, so you will receive your own console." And we went to the biggest store in the center of Moscow, in Krasnaya Presnya. It's also called the Engineer Reality. And
you're the rich one.
I think it was a monthly salary for my mother. I can understand how she allows her to purchase this, but
Save some stuff.
really respect her very well, very much. And my mother saw that it was Sega in this store, and she asked me, "Why you want to purchase Dendy NES? I see that picture of the game and Sega much better than on Dendy." And I said, Mama, yeah, you're right, but all my friends got Dendy, and I cannot switch cartridge with anybody. Nobody actually except me will have a Sega. So please purchase a Dendy, purchase an S. I was not really smart, how she thought at that time.
Well, same for now. Not so smart. Having a Sega at that time in mid of 90s, it was almost like having a Rolls Royce right now.
Yeah. Maybe we will talk later about Sega and Super Nintendo.
Yes. In my case, Sega was bigger, and I had more games on Sega as on NES. But see, like this. Well, you know how NES looks, but we had stuff like that.
Yep. It's looked almost
It
like
looked
this.
awful, but it was just a pirated clone of original NES from China, and we had cartridges like this one. And what we have here, awesome games, by the way.
Yep. And this cartridges, it's not original, not from that time. It's just look like maybe some Top Gun. It looks much closer than we had at that time. They are every time broke, and we received not only just plates and some small one. Some my friends marked with stickers, Top Gun or Tailspin or something like this. But can you imagine how we can push it in this console? It's really hard.
It wasn't like really easy, but we had these markets, because well, democratic, open market and all that stuff. People that were working in government, or I don't know, being an engineer or scientist, they started to sell stuff.
No, everybody became a salesman.
Yes, because it was an only way to get some money to buy some food. And we, well, in my case, we bought these games and stuff on open markets on the street, and some salesmen really, they sold only plates with it was Mario like on it, and we bought it for 80,000 rubles, I think.
Yeah, it's a mess.
80,000 rubles.
Sometimes your cartridge not work on your Dendy, but you will go to your friend and hard push in console, and it works. We asked each other how we can launch a game to play. and somebody tell you should leak it. Well, and then connection will be better, and we leaked cartridges.
Yes, it wasn't the best time. Well, as now you can imagine how it was with the video games, and overall in Russia it wasn't so good. If you want to have an image how it looked and how it lived around the time, you should check some movies about Russia from mid 90s. I think it's kind of the same. We had bandits, we had mafia, we had the drugs and stuff. It was a
Street
real
fights,
big problem. Yes,
Yeah.
in here.
everything. Everything were opened, and not only good things happened in Russia. Unfortunately, bad things also
Yes,
kills
but
our country.
bad things. We had more bad news than the good ones.
Yep.
Because it was an economical crisis every month, and well, it wasn't so good. But we had this stuff, and we really loved it, and we started our journey with video games, and after that it just started with it. It was Sega, it was SNES,
First on
PlayStation,
PlayStation.
PC Online Forever, and all that stuff, and we will continue with our best and most favorite games on this guy, on this in our next video.
Yep. Then we will proceed to Sega, to Super Nintendo, and we will talk about some events in our lives and game industry, about music, about movies, how it was also in Russia. And if you got any questions, we will answer you in comments, and let's our journey begin.
Yes, see you next time.
Yeah, see ya.